Live. What is going on, guys? It is your boy Eric of EMFC,
And this is Derek of DEEMFC.
and this is Wrestle Chat Wednesday. We're back. This is the third episode of the year. We did skip last week due to some commitments. Of course, we were a little busy. There's also a lot of huge winter storms happening in the Toronto area, so it's kind of dangerous. Everyone was chilling. You know, we gotta be safe, stay safe. Especially when going to work and such. So we decided to skip last week. It was pretty eventful, so let's get into it. When I find the button. Oh, I have a stream deck for a reason. Gotta get used to being back, guys. And we are back. Oh my god. Definitely not used to this because I forgot to.
It's apparently been a while.
There we go. So, a lot of things have happened. There has been a few events here. So the first being Friday Night SmackDown. I actually did not watch this. This is going to be a recap for me personally. I did watch the rest of them. It's just SmackDown was kind of like out of the way. It was hailing from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Of course, it was a few hours away from here. We were debating of actually going or not, but at the end of the day, we did not.
Y'all were debating. I was not trying to make that drive this time around.
This time.
At least not now.
But we do have the main man, Derek, here, letting us know on Monday Night Raw because he was here for that event.
I was there.
So, Friday Night SmackDown, did you end up watching it?
I did not. I don't think I did. I'm trying to see. Blah blah blah. No, I didn't.
Out of everything that's happened this week, I feel like this one was just very out of the way. I guess like it wasn't.
Yeah, and I think so it's very difficult to try to build towards two pay-per-views a week apart from each other. So like you're trying to do the build towards Saturday night's main event that has direct impact on Royal Rumble, but Royal Rumble is also one of your big four pay-per-views, and like I know for me, like people have asked me if I'm hyped for it, and like there's always going to be a level of excitement just because it is like my favorite pay-per-view that WWE runs.
Mhm.
But there's also been a bit of a lack of promotion, and I was telling my friend who I went to Monday Night Raw with in regards to because like we had got tickets like weeks ago, and like I was looking the day of, and like the same section of tickets that we bought like went down by like $40, and it's just like she's just like, oh well, it is the show before Royal Rumble. It's just like, yeah, but it's the show before Royal Rumble, so like at this point, like it should be all hands on deck, and there hasn't really been anything really to kind of hype me up for it, right? So Saturday night's main event was a really. I didn't even think I watched Saturday night's main event, to be honest. Oh no, I did.
Yeah, we did.
I watched
Saturday night's main event a little bit.
Yeah. It was a good show. It was a really, really good show.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think the only criticism I have is that it was so close to Royal Rumble that I feel like I don't really have the opportunity to really enjoy. Like for me, like top to bottom, like from start to finish, the show was just really fun.
Yeah.
I honestly think it might have been the best Saturday night's main event show that I've seen since they brought it back.
Yeah. Like this was really good. Even Raw was really good. As you were saying, it's kind of like I don't know. It's like they have Royal Rumble or like the WrestleMania season, because usually we think the WrestleMania season, January hits, boom, the WrestleMania sign is up, it's time, whatever. But they don't even have the sign up anymore. Apparently, they're not even gonna have the sign up at the Royal Rumble. They're gonna call that the official.
Let me cut you off right there. The sign is officially there. I did see pictures. There are pictures in Saudi Arabia. They do have the sign.
Okay. But they're considering the Royal Rumble the beginning of the road to WrestleMania, which is kind of sad because, again, they didn't really promote it because they're promoting this. So let's start with SmackDown because that's what it kind of was. There was like a little brawl at the beginning. United States champion Carmelo Hayes. So pretty much this is all qualifier match. Now I remember SmackDown. I watched a little bit. They're all qualifier matches. It's going to end up being a fatal four-way at Saturday night's main event. And then whoever wins that match fights for the WWE Championship at Royal Rumble. So in a way, they were kind of promoting the pay-per-view, but at the same time, we kind of had a feeling we knew what this was going to happen. So Carmelo Hayes does defeat Ilya Dragunov in a banger of a match. It was their rematch to the United States Championship. Of course, Ilya Dragunov put... Did he put Carmelo Hayes over twice? Technically now?
Yeah. Well, technically, because he won the title, and this was the rematch, so.
Yeah, banger of a match. WWE Women's Champion Jade Cargill defeats Chelsea Green in a non-title match. That's where Jordan Grace comes out and just the talk of the internet. I don't know if you've seen it, but a lot of people have seen it. You know, they're just saying she's getting a lot of attention out there, a lot of traction. But you know what? I think it's gonna be a banger of a match at the Royal Rumble. The mother freaking T's defeat the Wyatt Six to win the WWE Tag Team Championships. It was a pin by Tama Tonga, which is cool. I think it was kind of out of place because Solo became the tag team champion. It should have been the group. That's why he has a group for a reason, but it is what it is. They had a boring title run. It's over. Thank God. The motherfucking T's are tag team champions. Nathan Fraser defeats Johnny Gargano. It's kind of awkward without Ciampa there, but it is what it is. Think he kind of reclaims the mask because his wife stole it.
Yeah, his wife stole it back. Honestly, their little feud that they have going on is kind of fun to me. I think it's kind of entertaining.
It is for the most part. It kind of keeps like the mid card storylines going because they're all trying to chase for the U.S. title. That's how it started in the first place before the shenanigans happened. Drew McIntyre cuts a hell of a promo on SmackDown. What I ever remember from it? Nothing really, but you know, it went pretty well. Pretty much he's ready for any opponent. Julia and Kiana James defeat Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax and Lash Legend in a number one contenders triple threat tag team match. I did not see this match. I did not actually know this happened, but interesting. That's the way they're
James
going.
got the pinfall too.
So she's the Women's United States Champion, and now she's also chasing for the Tag Team Championship.
Tag Team titles, yeah.
Interesting. I would think, you know, Nia Jax and Lash Legend would be the good heels against a Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, but you know, good for them.
Yeah,
let the NXT
I think that's coming. I think that's coming. I think they, because like, how many title defenses do Rio have at this point, right? They just defended against Liv and Roxanne. So I think that, you know, in order to kind of build towards like, because I think major tag teams in the division right now, you have Nia Jax and Lash Legend who have been kind of like building their way. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss are always in the mix too, but you kind of had that. That's also something that you kind of save for later. And then on the Raw side, aside from Liv Morgan and Roxanne, I guess you have Lyra and Bayley, but they're kind of in like this weird spot right now.
Yeah.
Which I hope they'll be able to kind of break through and kind of get themselves in a more consistent mix. But I think it's a good filler of like, this is a good match we could put together. We could put these two women in this situation. Oh, that's Black Star Saturn with us up. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Let's go. That's 3 months in a row.
Small little filler that you can kind of put in there to really like continue to legitimize this tag team title run before you kind of get into like some of the bigger feuds.
Appreciate it, Saturn. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a great week. It is the middle of the week, actually. I was very excited today when I finished work. I was like, let's go. Actually, you know what? January is pretty much done. I don't know if you've taken that in. February coming around the corner. It's going to be a year since we went to the pay-per-view at Rogers Center and to everyone else. The Skydome, of course, which is Elimination Chamber. John Cena's retirement tour. Interesting time. Anyways, continuing on, Damian Priest defeats Trick Williams. Oh, sorry. Damian Priest and Trick Williams ended a no contest. I don't remember that happening. Sami Zayn attacked Trick Williams and Damian Priest, forcing a no contest in the main event of SmackDown. After Williams got back to his feet, Randy Orton appeared and RKO the newcomer before doing the same to Zayn. I vaguely remember that, but anyways, it all sets up to Saturday's main event, which is where we are at now. The first match of the night is Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu, which wasn't even really a match. They were doing their entrances. Jacob Fatu cuts a hell of a promo entering the ring. And that's when Cody Rhodes attacks him, and then they all fight, and they do the whole, you know, fighting in the crowd. Then all the security guards come together. Jacob Fatu does a huge moonsault, but misses Cody completely, hits all the people, and they separate the two. Actually, I believe Drew does emerge, and he wrecks both of them.
Through a table.
Yeah. Again, this is hailing from Montreal once again. We did not attend. Women's Tag Team Championship match, banger, of course. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. Rio, as their team name is, they come out on top. Yeah, honestly, peak, bro. Every time it's Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, honestly, their rivalry is like a female, I don't know, John Cena versus Randy Orton kind of thing, like eternal rivals. And lots of fun,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. A lot of, again, talented. I'm glad that they're kind of showing up Roxanne Perez a little bit, even though she's still a young rookie, as they would say. They showcase her talents pretty well as a team. AJ Styles has an impromptu match with Shinsuke Nakamura because everyone believes that AJ Styles is retiring. This is the perfect retirement match, or like one of his last matches. Again, they've had a huge rivalry all the way since Japan. It was really fun. It was really good. I don't know if you watched it fully, but
Oh, I did.
it
I
was a
did.
sick match. It was honestly something that you would see from wrestling of old or from a different company such as AEW. Really, really good. Honestly, the two old guys still got it, and AJ Styles wins. It's probably gonna be his last win in WWE, honestly. So, which is kind of sad, but at the same time, his time has come. Do you have anything else to say to that?
I think honestly, to me, this was my favorite match of theirs in WWE.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that there comes a time where, especially when the washed allegations come through and people say like, "Oh, these guys don't have it anymore," and you do something that they did on Saturday, it's just kind of like, "Oh yeah, no, these guys can still go. I was unaware of your game. I apologize." And this is one of those things where Nakamura still showed that he can still put on a banger of a match if need be, and it was, I think, one of the times where I felt like they were able to just kind of do them as opposed to like their previous matches where you could maybe assume that it might have been a little bit overproduced and they tried to do a little bit too much with keeping a storyline driven
Yeah.
match versus it just being like a good match between two long tenured wrestlers who have a lot of history with each other and know how to work with each other. So I very much enjoyed this match. I thought it was awesome.
Okay. And on to the last match of the night. It is the Fatal 4-Way between Sami Zayn, Randy Orton, Damian Priest, and Trick Williams. We all assumed what was going to happen. Banger of a match as well. Very competitive. At the end, Sami Zayn, the hometown hero, wins the match, which means he will be fighting for the WWE Championship in his other home in Saudi Arabia. Sammy Hogan, he's going to the main event of Royal Rumble. And the reason I say that is not because I hate Sami Zayn. Obviously, Canadian boy, he's very talented in his own right. He hasn't won his world championship. He deserves his underdog story, even though it's been prolonged for too long. Um, Sami Zayn posted online. He's like, you know, next week it's gonna happen or whatever. And then Drew responds, he's like, see you on Saturday, and he posts the freaking Hulk Hogan promo package because he's Sammy Hogan, he buries young talent, whatever, and so forth. Is he gonna end up winning? Possibly, but that is Saturday's main
You think so?
event. We'll discuss that just a little bit later, but possibly
Okay.
the possibility.
Okay.
Monday Night Raw, hailing from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. As you can see, Derek's T-shirt. He was live there. Maybe if you want to take it away, bro, you had you're personally right in front, right there. So
I was. And I got the pleasure to see the main event recording that they did a half an hour before the show too. In which I had texted you guys saying that Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile had probably one of the best matches ever that no one's ever going to see.
that won't be televised.
It will not be. It'll be televised somewhere. No one's going to watch it. I'm going to tell you that from now. But the match was really, really good. It was really, really dope. And also Rusev was there too. So I was like, oh, sweet. He hasn't faded away into obscurity. He's
That's where
still
he
wrestling.
is.
And he had like the biggest pop one of the biggest pops like when he came out. I was like, oh my god, it's Rusev. Like, this is awesome. But Monday Night Raw, hailing from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, started off the show with AJ Styles essentially talking about his match on Saturday and the implications of it, potentially it being his final match. But him saying that he still has a lot in the tank, making mention over the fact that he still wants to work with a number of different people across different locker rooms and like kind of make his year something to sort of remember in that sense. Um, and then to very much my surprise, and I think the surprise of a lot of people, CM Punk comes out, essentially questions his decision to put his retirement on or his career on the line against Gunther, and essentially said that quick Danny Maduro in the chat say what's good broskies, how you guys been? We've been
Hey,
good,
Danny,
Danny.
what's going on?
Thank you for dropping in. W. Logan Paul. All right, and I'm going to now ignore Danny Maduro for the rest of the stream. Um,
Appreciate you stopping by, Danny. It's been a minute. I was thinking about you the other day. Happy New Year. It's been a while.
CM Punk essentially tells him that, like, hey, if this is going to be the last time, and since we're both here and I am a fighting champion, and you know we never got to do AJ versus Punk here, like, why don't we just do it tonight? And considering if we are going to do it tonight, like, I got to put the title on the line, and AJ was like, oh, okay. So we got the
Okay.
match, and I was super amped because I was like, oh my god, I'm going to get to see CM Punk versus AJ Styles live.
Which is the
And then
first time
once they
ever,
put the
right?
title on the line, I was first time ever in WWE 101.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And probably the first time since I think the last time they fought each other was in Ring of Honor, to be honest. So like it has been a very long time. So yeah, super, super awesome uh main event that they set up for us. Um After that, they had a what was it, the 6 women tag team match?
Also a banger. So Stephanie Vaquer teams up with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky against the Judgment Day, which is Raquel, Liv, and Roxanne. Banger, banger of a match. Once again,
Mm-hmm.
Derek was there live in Toronto, of course, and he. You tell me, bro. What did you think?
I thought that there was a lot of action
Yeah,
in that match.
yeah.
A lot
Nice.
of very good, capable women wrestlers who also are, um,
Awesome.
heroes to a number of people, both male and female. And I was just enthralled with the amount of action. Also, I feel like I also made a point to mention that like the cameraman was very much way too close to Roxanne Perez that night. I don't know how it translated on TV, but all I know is that like cameraman was here, Roxanne was like here, and I was just like, all right, cool,
I can assure you it was not on TV. They were
okay,
going around those cameras, but as you were saying, it was a really good match. Very attractive to the audience, of course. They were very
very,
very engaged with the product. So
very,
good. Again,
very,
like I was saying, this is probably the best the women's roster has been. And
yeah,
honestly, it's made Raw really good because Raw has
yeah,
been lacking for a while.
yeah,
And even when we were talking about pay-per-views last year, Evolution was probably the best pay-per-view they had all year. And I stand by it. These women
yeah.
are doing amazing things. Moving
Fair.
on.
I like it.
Nope.
Hold
Yep.
on. Before
Yep.
we move on, one
I
of the
like it.
things I really enjoyed is yeah, just in regards to like the women in that match. So we already have like Liv Morgan and Roxanne who are kind of keeping themselves consistent within the tag team title stuff. Obviously, Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai or Io Sky, established main eventers within the women's division at this point. So having those two elements. Raquel Rodriguez has been doing such great work over the last couple of months that I'd be remiss not to mention that they have flipped a switch with her finally, and they stopped making her into like I would legitimately compare her to being the female Kevin Nash, and I honestly feel like she is like that in every way, shape, and form, and not just because she calls herself Big Sexy, but
I know.
I feel like she has been the Shawn Michaels to Liv Morgan, or the Kevin Nash to Liv Morgan, Shawn Michaels,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
she's kind of been like presented as like being like the big bodyguard, but now that she has been taking this like route where she has been constantly going after Stephanie Vacquier, she's been having the promo time, she's kind of like set herself apart in a way from the other Judgment Day members, where she's not just taking this backseat, she's trying to establish herself as being like a mainstay within the Raw Women's division, which is something that they painfully need. And I thought she looked incredible. She's been looking super strong as of late. She's been kind of like she's always been Rhea Ripley's foil, and it's always been presented that way. But I feel like they have done well at putting her into a huge like a huge spot being presented, and it's great to see. So yeah, I was a huge fan of just seeing her booking over the last couple of weeks.
Are they fighting at the Royal Rumble or no?
No, they're fighting next week on Monday Night Raw for the title.
Okay, because I know
Yes.
they had a little segment backstage where they attacked each other, which was good. Setting up, I guess, that championship match for next week. Quickly, Adam Pearce returns. He apologizes to Braun Breaker and Division, says they're pretty much allowed to do whatever they want, and that as a reward, each of one of them automatically qualify to the Royal Rumble. So at least they're kind of mentioning the pay per view, especially it's the last one. And then
Yes.
they had a match. It was Austin Theory versus Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio unfortunately gets hurt a little bit. He gets injured. Also, side note, every time that I go to wrestling pay-per-view or wrestling event, never Rey Mysterio is my favorite wrestler of all time. Never there. I do not go to a Friday Night SmackDown. He shows up. I do not go to Monday Night Raw. He shows up. So, he hates me, but he lost. So, whatever.
Yeah.
Afterwards,
The best thing I could do for my buddy Eric, who has never seen Rey Mysterio live, whereas I have seen him live way too many times to count. The best thing that I could do as a friend of his is to immediately leave and go to the merch stand during his match,
yeah.
which is exactly what I did. Because and not no knock to Rey Mysterio, because honestly I probably missed one of the best things of the night, because he did like a suck and chop to the guys, and it was like the coolest thing ever. And I wish I saw it, but the merch stand was completely empty, so I was able to get my shirt as well as his shirt as a result of that. So thank you, Rey Mysterio, for your sacrifice. May your knees recover in a timely fashion so that you can come back and continue to be the hero that Eric never had.
Well, I definitely didn't have that night because the LWO got wrecked. Dragon
Absolutely
Lee
wrecked.
and fortunately Penta is a part of this group now. Got absolutely wrecked, destroyed. The referees kept coming in. They kept doing what they want. No Adam Pearce stopping them. So whoever he called on the telly, he has fear for. Anyways, that's what happens with them.
It's very funny because I feel like a lot of people online are putting a lot of stock into the phone call. And I don't know. I think that if last year has taught me anything, is that I need to really manage my expectations. Because people, they'll start to take something and be like, "Oh,
It's The
you
Rock.
could be so
It's The Rock.
menacing." You know what I mean? And it's just like, I honestly think it was just a stupid excuse to get these guys back on television, and then we're just going to drop it as if it never happened.
This is why
And that's what I believe is going to happen. But we'll see. If they're able to actually turn it into an angle where someone comes in that is actually incredibly influential, it'd be very, very cool. But I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Kurt Angle, they would say.
Oh.
Oh.
Interesting.
Other things behind the scenes, CM Punk talks to Finn Balor. Of course, they're in the Maple Leafs area. Fantastic stuff. He suggests something that most likely is going to happen, and your boy Baron Corbin has mentioned it in a podcast as well. The most perfect thing to do is for Finn Balor to ditch the Judgment Day, and CM Punk has reiterated that. CM Punk does talk to Pierce afterwards. Sorry, Finn Balor does talk to Adam Pierce a little bit later, asks if he can be in the Royal Rumble. He says no because it's already fully booked. So we'll see how that goes. It looks like they might be building up to a storyline, as your boy Baron Corbin has said. It'd be the perfect time to put the rocket on him, give him the world championship, or at least let him win the Royal Rumble. Gunther suggests that he could end Michael Cole's career as well. And Natalya was explaining why she assaulted Maxine Dupree. That's because he finally got TV time, and you're going to put the young lady over. Everyone knows this. She also posted online her peeing on her own grave. I don't know if you see that. But she's like, she's doing what a guy would do. So people are just like, what? Just gonna leave it at that. She's been an interesting character as of late. Alpha Academy. This is a match you probably enjoyed because the New Day was a part of it. You probably thought the New Day was gonna win. Alpha Academy take on New Day, American Made, and Los Americanos for the #1 contendership for the tag championships. I know you have bear to say.
Honestly, I probably don't have as much to say as you might think.
Really?
I'm happy that Alpha Academy and the Creed Bros are back on TV. because I think that their tag team division has been lacking.
Yeah.
And I think that they need to do more to kind of expose these guys on a week to week basis, like bring them back into the fold. I thought honestly the crowd was loving Otis, and I wish I took a picture, but there was a point where like they kept on doing like the whole build towards like Otis getting the hot tag,
Mm.
but Otis was literally lying on the floor by the corner for
What you're
like 10
saying.
minutes.
Yeah.
Like legitimately just lying on the floor, like to the point where I was just like, brother, he was just like, it was like he was taking a nap. And I would have thought that people would have like more or less like harped on it, but as soon as he got up and he kept on teasing the tag, like the crowd got so into it that I was just like, oh well, he
They
did
might
his
have
job.
something there. Yeah.
He did his job. He did his job. And so the decision for them to win, although kind of came out of left field because like these guys haven't been on TV in like months, and now they're number one contenders. But I like the fact that again now you're bringing them back into the fold. You can see that like Otis and Tozawa, when they actually kind of lock in a little bit, they could actually do some stuff. So again, my biggest thing is just consistency. Like, how often can you get these guys on TV so they can show that they're more than just comedy acts, that they can actually win matches? Are you just going to kind of lead this towards being a match where like they get beat by the Usos and then they fade back into obscurity and you don't see them again for a few months, or are you going to constantly do stuff with them where they can actually be in the ring?
Yeah.
Um, I'm not minding the fact that New Day lost because like we've seen New Day versus Usos 10,000 times. We got it like a couple of weeks ago. I'm okay to stay off of that for now. Obviously, I just want them to be involved in something. Like I understand that there's only so many spots that you can fill, and like the roster is full with a bunch of different talent. But my biggest thing is that like again, like if you have the division and you have the people within the division, you can't just focus on like here are the champions and here are random challengers that are going to face champions. Like, what are the other teams doing to make sure that they can be the next one in line? Right?
Yeah.
That's a story that I want to see. And if it's something that you got to do on different programming and tie it back into Monday Night Raw, if it's something like, oh, like we had a match on main event, and on main event, like these guys were able to win the stuff and yada 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 yada. So at the very least, like if these guys who aren't on Raw are going to be at the show and wrestling, do more to like make the show watchable. Like I remember when main event first became a thing, they tied a lot of storyline stuff from main event into the main shows. And so like, yeah, if you watch main event this past week or Superstars this past week, these guys had a match and this is why we're here kind of thing.
Yeah.
So at least we're not just like getting to a point where it's like this guy was in catering for 6 months and then he got off of his ass and now he's number one contender.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's true.
Right? So, and that's the thing, you have the stuff there, and it takes like a little bit to be able to connect one thing to the other. Like, if you want to just make it a filler thing for the sake of being a filler thing, that's fine. But like, I don't think it's too much to be able to do just like even like a small derivative or a small connection so that people can be like, oh, okay, like this makes sense as to why, because it lessens more of the IWC to go online and say like, I don't like this because why is this guy not here, and now all of a sudden he's here. Like, okay, well, this is actually the reason why he's here, because he's been busting his ass on these like tapings that you don't watch, and he has been winning, and now he's over here because he's done all that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Take a few video clips from that stuff, bring it into that, and then you're good. You're golden, right? But either way, whenever Jimmy Uso gets back, because he's been gone for the last few weeks,
They mentioned it
Michael
too.
Cole
Yeah.
made the mention that he's been gone for personal reasons. So I can obviously assume that it's probably because he's with Naomi, with his wife, and obviously hoping that those personal reasons is just so that he can spend some time with his wife, since she's, I think, entering her third trimester now, and it's nothing too serious. But yeah, we're gonna get this tag team match, which hopefully will be able to elevate Tozawa and Otis back a little bit, because once upon a time people were super into Otis, and he still can get the crowd reaction, so we know that he can do the stuff. It's just a matter of
Keeping
can
it consistent.
you yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then also with Los Americanos, or whatever the heck their names are, I feel like we lost the plot here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think honestly, it's just kind of like we're just kind of waiting until we can kind of bring in
Chad
Chad Gable and
yeah.
maybe to bring a means to an end. But like all that initial hype, like I mean, they're super over in AAA, so maybe just for the sake of AAA, like that's why we kind of got them here. But like, it's so shitty because like the guys underneath the mask who like for kayfabe reasons I will not reveal who they are so good. And I hate that like I feel like they're kind of just being dicked around and doing all these like small like these things that don't really like lead towards anything because it's like you could do so much more than what you're
With them.
being given.
Yeah.
Um so but you know, it is what it is. Either way, you have Tozawa and Otis as your number one contenders. And that will lead towards again another cool filler match that will build the tag team reign of the Usos. Will hopefully elevate Tozawa and Otis a little bit, and then we can move on to the next feud, whatever that might be.
Okay. I know it's. I think you're right. I think it's like a good way that they're pushing these newer. I guess they're not new tag teams, but like newer on our TV sets for a while. Um, Towards someone like Jey Uso who's kind of carrying it right now. I feel like every week he's been showing up and doing all this yeet stuff and then leaving. And then this week he actually congratulated these guys and he said, "Are you similar to what you said? If they're going to be serious or not? Are they going to be taken as a joke?" So we'll see how that goes. Moving forward, it's the last match of the night, which is very quick. CM Punk versus AJ Styles. They also have a banger, really, really back and forth. But it does end up in DQ because Finn Balor does interfere and he just goes on a rampage, which again showcases that he might be finally, because I know everyone's been joking around about Finn getting a push. They said it last year
Mm-hmm.
that he was going to get a push and he didn't. And they said the same thing about Drew and he didn't. But then he
Mm-hmm.
did and he became world champion.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? You know where we're going right now. And
Mm-hmm.
it looks like it's happening. It looks like it's happening. Do you want to lead it to the Royal Rumble or do you want to talk about this quickly?
I do want to talk about it because I am conflicted with what they did here.
Okay.
So I like that Finn is in the conversation. I like that
Finally.
the match wasn't the end of whatever the story is. I don't believe that it's going to end in the way that I want it to, at least right now. Um, but the conflict for me is that you had him basically work as a babyface the week before, and I understand why. You were in your home city, you already know, or hometown. You already know that regardless of whatever the typical agenda is, your people are going to ride for you. So you might as well work the crowd to fit the needs of whatever it is. And I think from a lot of people's perspective, they felt like this was the start of a potential face turn for Finn. And I think before they could even really get that off the ground, Finn comes out and he does all this stuff, and he kind of like reestablishes himself as a heel. Whether that's going to lead towards the eventual major payout of him becoming a face and leaving the Judgment Day, I think we'll see. I think my criticism is that this is something that I have seen with the Judgment Day way too many times over the last
Tease.
like I think 3 years at this point, where they keep teasing that there's going to be this shift where something is going to happen that could have major implications, and then they pull the rug from underneath us, and then it's just like, oh, never mind, it's not actually happening. The only time that they actually pulled the trigger was when Damian Priest got kicked out of the group. But otherwise, it's like they've had multiple teases of like Dom leaving and then he doesn't leave. Liv Morgan turning and then she doesn't turn. Finn Balor turning and then he doesn't turn. Raquel Rodriguez turning and then now all of a sudden they're best friends. Roxanne Perez potentially like trying to push Liv Morgan out and then it doesn't happen. They've continued to do all these teases. And Danny, I will get to you on that point. So thank you for asking that question. I will get to you on that point. But they keep on doing all these teases in regards to like, oh, it's gonna happen, and then it doesn't happen,
That doesn't
and then we
happen.
get
Yeah.
months of the same story of like, okay, we're good, but we're kind of not good, and then something might happen and it doesn't. And this is like my thing about like I like consistency, but you have to pull the trigger at some point. And if you're not going to pull the trigger, don't
Tease it
hold the
all.
carrot over my head, because eventually I'm going to stop going for the carrot. So I don't know where this is going to go. I like Baron Corbin's point in regards to where he feels as though Balor doing that and being told that, like, hey, you're not in because spots are full. And if you saw the Royal Rumble graphic, they only show 12 confirmed superstars.
Yeah.
Now 13, because someone else just declared themselves for the Royal Rumble in the most unconventional ways. But we'll talk about that.
Roman Reigns actually did also on Monday Night Raw via video package, via satellite, of course, just like his cousin.
The satellite package actually played on SmackDown prior to Monday Night Raw,
so
I think that's why people didn't really react. Yeah, but we'll get to that. But the fact that, like, okay, you only really have 12 confirmed spots that you showed in your video package of people who are in it, but you're saying it's full. There's no way that you guys have like 18 people worth of surprises. It's probably going to be a bunch of like people that are kind of like mad about. So will Finn Balor get himself into the Royal Rumble somehow? Now Rey Mysterio is injured, so he's probably out. So like they probably actually do need to do something about that anyways. But is that going to turn into something, or is this kind of like hey, like, I think the best thing for Finn right now, and I realized this once he did his entrance in Ireland, is that I don't think people are tired of Finn. I think people are tired of heel Finn.
Yeah.
I think people really want Finn to be a babyface again. And although Finn is a great heel, he's such an organic babyface because he's such a like down to earth, like decent dude. As far from what we can see on TV, that I think people just want to see him go back to the old music. People want to do like the thing with him. People want to see the demon again, but obviously in a way where it's not like overdone, overproduced, and like stupid. Right? I think people are really, really just fatigued with the heel Finn character that you just want to see babyface Finn back. And honestly, I want to see it for myself too, but I want to see it in a sense where it's not just him like showing out just for the crowd pops like Jey Uso, but being presented as he was in NXT, where he's actually a legitimate contender, but he's also just like someone that you want to go for, like a really cool underdog. Kind of like what they had Sami Zayn as before they overdid the whole like underdog story for like
the whole Jey
way too
Uso
long.
storyline.
So yeah, I don't know where that's going to go. I'm kind of hoping that there is like something that materializes out of it. But we'll see. I guess, should I address Danny's ask about that? Because I have talked about Cena's heel turn multiple times.
Yeah.
But my reaction to Cena's heel turn, if people do watch and kind of rewatch our stuff, the first thing I had said when Cena had turned heel was that it was probably one of my favorite heel turns, experiencing it live. But there was two things that could come out of it. You could have a monumental heel turn like what you had with Hulk Hogan turning and becoming part of the NWO, which is probably still, in my mind, the best heel turn of all time. And you could have that level, or you could have a heel turn that has the potential of being that big, but falls short. And you realize that it was probably something that you probably should have done, kind of like when Stone Cold turned heel against The Rock at WrestleMania 17. And it was going to be just a matter of how the whole thing played out to see where we saw it. Personally, for me, I enjoyed the heel turn. I enjoyed what John Cena tried to do with it for the time that we had it. But considering, if I see you turn heel and then turn babyface within a year, to me, it's a failure. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But to me, it shows that, like, this wasn't the way that you should have went. I have seen every heel turn that I have seen that has not gone the distance has shown that, like, it was probably not a move that you should have went. It happened with Steve Austin. It happened with Shawn Michaels. I'm trying to think of other.
Jesus,
and that's the thing. The Shawn Michaels heel turn, again, when it happened, this was back before I overanalyzed wrestling to the point that I do now. But back then, I was just a fan. And watching one of my favorite wrestlers turn on one of my favorite wrestlers at the time in Hulk Hogan, in the way that he did, I was heartbroken. So the effect that it had on me, they did what they needed to do. But I think I started to realize how wrestling works when they did that program and after it was done. Because when Shawn Michaels came out and said, well, Hulk Hogan beat me, but where's Hulk now? He's on a private jet going back to his home, doing God knows what, and I'm the one that's here aiming to entertain you guys day in and day out. So who's really the bad guy in the situation? And when he said that, I was like, yeah, you're real for that. You're real for that. And I think that's when I started to realize, like, oh, you know what? This didn't need to be a thing. And I remember watching that whole thing and being like, I was totally down to see babyface Shawn Michaels versus babyface Hulk Hogan, and it's just a classic. And I think it would have blew it out of the water. I understand the decision making between that with heel Shawn Michaels and heel Hulk Hogan, because it's the old school thinking. You need to have bad guy versus good guy to get people really invested in it. But knowing where Shawn was in his life and in his career at that point, it didn't make sense. And that's, I think, what resonated with me the most with that heel turn. And I think with John Cena's heel turn, again, I had pitched ideas in my IWC brain as to how you can make this heel turn work where it made sense for John Cena to turn, and they didn't do it. John Cena comes out the next night and he says that the reason why he turned heel is because he's been in a toxic relationship with the fans for however long, and he got upset because like the fans have always booed him and they never really respected his work and da 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 da. And absolutely, you're 100% right that it was the case. But they stopped booing you 6 years ago, dude.
Yeah, like it wasn't.
They stopped booing you 6 years ago. So that at that point, that's not a valid enough reason for me to justify why you did what you did. The best way you could have done it is totally be straight up. I haven't won a match since 2018. I think the crown jewel against Triple H was the last time John Cena won a singles match. Every singles match that he's had since then, he has lost. He has put people over cleanly. He's won tag team matches. He hasn't won a singles match since 2018. John Cena, his main thing is that he wins. And that was one of his promos that he talked about too. And I loved when he did that. Right? But like, you easily could have been like, yo, this is my retirement year. I have an opportunity to go to WrestleMania and win the championship and break the record. And that wasn't something that I was trying to get into, but it's what I needed to do now. And I am going to do whatever I need to do to get there, which coincidentally enough is the same program they ran for Steve Austin leading up to WrestleMania 17. He came back from injury. He said like he has to win the championship because he needs to validate that he still belongs here and he can still do this. And he was willing to do whatever he needed to do to get there. And that set up the match perfectly. And that's why that build to me is still one of the best builds of all time, because Steve Austin showed you, I am willing to do whatever I need to do to get here. And he did. He sold his soul to the one person he never should have sold his soul to. And I felt like they could have done the same thing with John, but it fell short with his explanation. And for me, at that point, I said, John Cena is playing the heel character, and he's doing all the bullet points right. He's doing everything he's supposed to do to be a heel, but he isn't like, I can't get along with the character because that's not who he is. You've given me 20 years of being the same guy day in, day out, and now all of a sudden, like, you're over it? Like, sorry, that doesn't work for me. But if I look at it for what it was, we got him versus Orton, we got him versus Punk, we got him versus Truth, and all those programs were fun. Yeah. Like, seeing Cena work those programs, we got Cena doing the pipe bomb part 2. We got Cena, like, falling prey to, like, the RKOs out of nowhere, and they were super fun. We got Cena, like, being fine speech Cena as a heel, which honestly, for me, is, like, the most authentic version of how it should be. And we got as a heel. Like, the stuff that we got was fun. But I think from a character perspective, it just didn't land with me. So when he became a babyface, it felt right.
Yeah.
But I think the babyface turn felt so right because we saw Cena do the heel stuff, right? He took away the colorful stuff. He took away the colorful t-shirts. He took away the colorful entrance that, like, I guess we didn't realize we enjoyed so much until he stopped running to the ring. Like, when he stopped bringing the towel up and saying, like, you know, let's go to work and stuff like that. Like, he took it away for us for 3 months, and people were begging to get it back.
Yeah.
Like, his SummerSlam pop when he came back as, like, classic Cena was one of the biggest pops I've ever heard. And it's just like, damn, people really appreciate this. So, like, just based off of that alone, the heel run, even though again it fell short for what I wanted it to be, because obviously I wanted there to be more involvement with The Rock. I wanted there to be like some stuff as like I sold my soul to The Rock and this is gonna go somewhere. We didn't get that, so
Yeah.
obviously we got to pivot. But everything culminated when Cena came back out at SummerSlam and came back out to Classic Cena. Everyone was just like, "That's the guy that we want." And the fact that people were able to just jump out of the seat and be like, "Fuck, we got our guy back." It's like, all right, you know what? Maybe the heel run wasn't as bad as people make it out to seem. It
And
definitely could have been better, but I'm not mad at it. I enjoyed the time that he was there.
And I would say the same for me. Again, I was there live as well, of course. It was a great experience to have The Rock coming out, Travis Scott coming out. I think it's probably one of the greatest heel turns of all time. Just the turn in general. Like, it was just a shock to see your hero, John Cena, never give up. He hasn't been heel for like 20 something years, finally turning heel. Humongous moment. Felt like an NWO Hulk Hogan situation. But as Derek said, they didn't continue it to the best of their abilities. That's partially because The Rock and Travis Scott just gave up on it, which was horrific. If they were involved and they made this whole Hollywood gimmick, it would have been sick until he eventually, would come to his senses and return. But because they had to pivot so quickly, they quickly turned him face again. People loved it, and it just felt like we lost a huge time for him in this
Mm-hmm.
time period. But regardless, he did his thing, won his championships that he needed to, put whoever he needed to put over, and
Yeah,
it was a great run at the end. So perfect heel turn, horrific heel run, and he's admitted to
yeah,
himself saying that like he tried his best, it didn't work out, and just keep going, and that's
that's
just what it
okay.
is. Do you think people
So
hated him for it?
Danny's in this. So who's he talking about? Is he asking if people hated Cena for it or people hated other people for it?
Because I don't think people hated Cena for it. They
No,
love
not at
that they
all.
given him the opportunity to do so,
Yeah,
but they love when
I
he came
think
back.
I think the people who have watched his career, like the old heads like myself, I remember the first night they started booing Cena. I remember the amount of times that people were just not into his stuff. And very much like how you have like the wrestler fatigue with Cody Rhodes, with Roman Reigns, and all these other guys. Um, Although like Cena was such a larger than life character, people just hated seeing him being in the same spot over and over again. And they wanted to see something different. And once they saw something different, they were like, this is our guy, this is what we want to go with. And honestly, people will say like, he who should not be named was out of touch. He had his hand on the pulse completely. And I agree completely with the fact that he kept Cena up in that spot because as much as people think that, like, oh, if CM Punk was in this spot, we would have been fine, nobody was drawing like Cena was. If Cena wasn't on the show, people didn't care.
Yeah,
Right. So, like, the reality is that, like, the metric show, like, yo, like, you need Cena.
like
Like,
right now.
you guys might hate the fact that, like, he was there, but, like, you're not caring about what's going on if Cena's not on the card.
Yeah,
Right. So, I think I don't think anyone made him for it. I think every appearance that he made, every like non-wrestling appearance, of like that con that they do in Vegas? What was it?
they whip you on the ass.
um, what is it? Fanatics Fest and stuff like that. I feel like every Q&A that Cena has been a part of, like people are very much just like they just like, and Cena's not like being a heel there, except for like the stuff that he was doing where he was just being obnoxiously like stupid for no reason. Like people are legitimately just like, yo, like, like he's still like the nicest dude in the world and he still treats people with respect. You see a fan footage of people trying to like ask for his picture, like, without his permission, and like he'll turn them down in like the nicest way possible. Like I think like everyone knows that who Cena is as a character. So regardless of what you do, unless you do something like completely irreprehensible that you just don't coming back from, like Kanye West, like I don't think you can hate on him. And I think that we're in a world now, especially that you have shows like WWE Unreal out, and now we're peeling back the curtain more and more. People understand more or less that, like, yeah, this is a show, and at the end of the day, you're gonna do what you can to be able to get the reaction they need from the show. And so people, I think, are just appreciating him for doing the work as opposed to like, oh, you're a dirtbag because like you turned on Cody Rhodes. Like, how dare you? Like, I think people are just appreciating the fact, like, yo, like you were the guy that I got to watch for 20 plus years. This is your final year. Yeah, you're a heel now, but I appreciate the fact that you do the bad guy shit because you never did it while I was a fan. and now I'm seeing it, right? Like me being the guy that wanted to see him do it like years ago and seeing it then, it's just kind of like, cool, I like this. But now being a fan, I understand that Bret Hart was 100% right about him when he said like you can't turn Cena heel because he doesn't have a bad bone in his body. He's too good to be a heel, and Bret Hart was right. Like I felt like as good as he was in the role, you can't get you can't
Yeah.
get invested in the heel character. It just doesn't.
It
It
was
didn't
just
work for him.
weird.
It didn't work for
It
him.
was just very odd just looking at a Cena. It looked like he was acting this time to be the villain
Yeah,
instead of actually
yeah,
being the villain. Like when John Cena's the face, he's being himself. But when he was trying to
yeah.
be the heel, you can tell badly that he was just acting. So it just wasn't right. He was a heel for like a week. It was like for a few months. He did defend his championship for a couple times, but it was just like
Hmm.
April, May, June, July. And then August was SummerSlam, and he was already a face, or maybe it was July or something.
Yeah.
Logan makes a great heel. It's because he has natural heat against him, though. He just like people. I don't know. People just hate that he didn't come the traditional way. He was famous on his own, and he came in, and obviously he's had his like bad things happen in his life that he's done. But like at the same time, people are kind of like jealous in that way, and that's why I feel like he's the good natural heel. He just plays it off the way he does it. Still my all-time favorite wrestler, John Cena, of course, the GOAT. If you're talking about Logan Paul, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about right now. All right, quickly, we're gonna go to the Royal Rumble. It is hailing from Saudi Arabia. It's going to start at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. So it's going to be in the middle of the day. I don't know if they have it set up here. Oh, they do. So they do have the championship match. Sorry, not championship match. They have the retirement match. AJ Styles puts his career on the line against Gunther. I kind of love these matches because there's a lot at stake. Because again, supposedly AJ Styles' contract ends in February. Um, and Gunther has already retired John Cena and Goldberg. Of course, they
Hmm.
just having their last matches. They need to put the young man over. Should be an interesting bout between the two. We'll discuss it quickly after. Other matches here, WWE Championship. It's going to be Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. Again, Drew just got the championship, and Sami Zayn is that underdog character who really needs the championship, and he's fighting in another hometown. And then the other two matches is the men's Royal Rumble match, which they have a few people here: Cody Rhodes, Bronson Reed. Oh, I thought this was gonna be a surprise here, but they have Oba Femi on the front cover.
Yeah. They confirmed on Monday that Oba Femi is going to be in the Rumble in
That's
his
sick.
video package.
That's sick. That
Yeah.
one should have been more of a surprise because he's again a future talent. I think he's like 26 or something. He's gonna be there for years to come. He's really, really good at what he does. We have Austin Theory, another young future talent, which hopefully they work on him a little bit more. Rey Mysterio, which again he's been injured, so who knows if he continues. We got Penta, Logan Paul, as Danny Maduro saying in the chat, is his favorite wrestler.
Oh.
Yeet Jey Uso, Braun Breaker, and Roman Reigns. And then on the women's side, oh, they actually have the people who declared, which is cool. We'll go through that in a second. And the women's side, they have Liv Morgan, they have Raquel Rodriguez, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, Becky Lynch, which I think she had a promo as well on Raw. Yeah, she was saying how the Maple Leafs suck, and
She did. She did. She also was talking to Asuka, and like, yeah, that segment was just very funny.
she also mentioned that she hates ice because it was icy here in
Yes,
Toronto, and
it was very icy here in
yeah,
Toronto. I
you
love
know what
Becky.
else?
I love Becky.
Asuka and why is she escaping my mind? Alexa Bliss is at the front cover. So I guess let's talk about it. So starting with the women's Royal Rumble, the following women have declared out of the 30: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So a little bit over the half of the women on the roster has declared for the Royal Rumble, which is cool. I like that some are mentioned, but I don't like when all of them are mentioned. So that would
Yes,
make it 13 that are a surprise. Maxine Dupree.
it's
Yep, sorry.
is Tiffany Stratton's name on there or no? It's not.
I don't think so. We have
Okay,
Maxine
well
Dupree,
she's gonna be in
Julia,
it.
Lash Legend, Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Chelsea Green, Becky Lynch, Jordan Grace, Asuka, Raquel, Roxanne, Liv, Lyra, Bailey, Io, and Rhea, which is a lot of the people that have been on TV at least within
Hmm.
last week.
Hmm.
And yes, Tiffany Stratton should be another surprise. Some people say she's the favorite to that.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if you want to do predictions. I could probably
We
edit
could,
that
because
together.
I do have my predictions in there.
And without Matt being
Well, like
here, I guess we can have more than one. And then obviously when we do our actual predictions for like our fantasy thing, we'll choose whoever. But
mhm.
all right, so the Women's Royal Rumble predictions. I believe this is hard. I believe Tiffy comes back and wins it.
You think so?
I'm gonna cut it right there. Oh, maybe I should have recorded that. Let me record it. Give me a second. Predictions. I think Tiffany Stratton comes back and wins it. If not, what do we have here, bro? Who has been okay? So if Raquel's having her opportunities, if they do end up breaking the Judgment Day up, it might be Liv Morgan then.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Derek.
Okay, so like I have, and I'll probably elaborate on this once I
We'll
get
elaborate
into like
after.
my stuff. So for the men's side,
Oh no, let's go women's first. Women's first. Let's stick with this match first.
Women's first.
Yeah.
Okay, so women's first. I have Liv Morgan. I have Tiffany Stratton, and I have Bianca Belair.
Oh, that's a good one. Bianca Belair. Forgot she could come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. If we're just gonna elaborate more, the women's side, they're very like open, kind of like the last few years. Like you don't know who's gonna win, and when they choose someone, they're like, yeah, that person's legit. Io Sky, Bailey. It's just like like it just makes sense. Charlotte Flair last year made sense with Tiffy to put a younger talent over. You know, it's just like right now all these women are extremely talented, and honestly, a lot of them would win. I'd be like, yeah, all right, it's gonna be a sick match. And yeah, all the choices honestly would probably be the best options, the ones that are most likely the favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else to say about that?
Like my rationale between like my choices.
Yeah.
So I will go. So Liv Morgan, coming back from injury, one of, if not the biggest star on Raw right now. I think that, especially if we're feeding off of the Judgment Day stuff right now, I think her winning the Royal Rumble can definitely stir some stuff up. I think that if you put Liv versus Stephanie Vacquier, I think that is a main event WrestleMania match worthy to really get a lot of eyes on those two women specifically. I think they're probably just like the top two women right now to kind of do the thing. And then if we go Tiffany Stratton, there's a story there already. Tiffany Stratton lost the title to Jade Cargill. Jade hasn't really defended the title since she's beaten Tiffany, and Tiffany has been off of TV since that loss. So it would be within her best interest to get back. And I don't know if it's a WrestleMania worthy match, but I do definitely think that it is something that people would be interested in.
I say for the fourth
My
time is
main,
crazy.
yeah, but my main is Bianca. Bianca's been gone for almost a year. I'm praying that she's healed, but Bianca versus Jade Cargill is the match.
Yeah, that'd be lit too. And then even if you throw Tiffany in there in a triple threat, it could still main event WrestleMania. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, so that is the match to me. That is the, like, you want to get the best out of Jade Cargill. You want to get one of the most over women's wrestlers that you have in your company right now, who hasn't been there for nearly a year, and you are able to get the match that I feel that they were trying to set up. Like since Jade has gotten there, like since they put Jade there, it was Jade and Bianca. They were side by side, and we knew that the goal was we're gonna keep them together. Jade's gonna learn from Bianca. They're gonna build each other up, and then eventually we're going to get that match. If Bianca is ready to go, I think they execute that this year.
Okay, it's good options. Quickly in the chat, Danny says, "How's Matt? He's doing really well. He was with us the last couple of weeks, and now he will be in a hiatus for a undisclosed amount of time. But yeah, he's doing really good right now. You know, working, living the adult life. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, you know, he's there. He's doing well. Okay, moving on. Oh, wow. They're still going through all the Royal Rumbles. All right. So the men's Royal Rumble is the next one. The people who are officially declared are Obafemi, Javon Evans, Austin Theory, Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Penta, Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio, Jey Uso, Brock Lesnar, Gunther, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. Brock Lesnar just quickly was declared on Pat McAfee's podcast or show. He FaceTimed him and he just officially announced it there. It is pretty random, but it is what it is. Danny says that's great to hear. How's your Switch? If you're talking about the Switch 2, it's great. I've been using it a lot because I've been playing a lot of Pokemon. I've been streaming here on EMFC, and I finished the main story and I posted the replays on YouTube if anyone wants to go check it out. Command socials, they're all there. That's pretty much the video games I've been playing mostly. Especially like I took a little bit of vacation during December and stuff and came back. Just been playing Pokemon. Now that I'm kind of finished it and I finished the DLC, I'm piecing it together to put on YouTube. Um, I'm kind of trying to finish Donkey Kong Bonanza. That way I can start playing like PS5 games, PC games, make my way onto that and leave the Switch 2 alone for a little bit because I've smoked that thing already. And I know like usually there's like a lot of family games. I know the new Mario Tennis is coming out, which looks really good. But that's something me and my family will play as always. That's how I feel like Nintendo games are made for like families and parties. Um, but yeah, I was gonna focus more on Dragon Ball Z, which I've been playing the last couple days, Sparking Zero, because they announced Dragon Ball Super is back. They're gonna remake the original Super and continue Super, which will be a lot of fun, and they're gonna add more to Sparking Zero. So we've been playing that, and yeah, WWE game's gonna come out soon. So me and Derek have to talk about that and see what we're gonna end up doing. Um, oh, I haven't seen me stream. It's been a while. It was December. I like when Christmas came around. Um, we stopped because obviously the holidays, and then I've been busy obviously in January coming back to work. You play Switch every day? Yeah, same I guess. I like shiny hunting and doing side missions for Pokemon, but yeah, honestly, great system. Obviously, I wish they added more and they lowered the prices so my boy Derek can be in there, but it is what it is. Anyways, going back to it, Derek. Uh, for the men's Royal Rumble, this one's hard. I truly believe Finn Balor might win. He might be that sleeper pick that this is going to be his year. If not, the obvious one is going to be Roman Reigns.
Okay.
Because they need that big main event at Vegas. So, can you imagine it's Cody?
Oh my god.
Oh god, bro. That's when he turns heel. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
So my picks. So I think my favorite. I have two favorites. So I have Roman Reigns. I think that um, it just has to be Roman. I think that especially with the story that they kind of told, where Roman's very much like looking to be in the main event picture. I think that that puts him in a very much in a position where he could win. Um, I did think about Finn, and I absolutely do believe that there could be some significance with the fact that he wasn't able to be in the Rumble. Where that leads to, we will see. Um, I have a wild card, and this would be a very wild card, but Obafemi winning.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah,
lit.
that would be a huge wild card. If they are willing to put that much stock into him,
Yeah.
that could be a huge wild card. However, my favorite, and this is very much just a thought process that I think, and it may not be anything, you can very much take it with a grain of salt. My personal belief is that Seth Rollins is cleared, and I think he's going to return at the Rumble.
Yeah, I think he does. I don't think he's gonna win. I think Braun and Seth are gonna eliminate each other. That itself, Seth versus Braun, is a not a main event, but like a WrestleMania match that could fill the card.
It is. But here's my thought process with that. Um, I believe that the wild card in regards to where all things lead to is Brock Lesnar. Because either Braun Breaker or Obafemi are going out to Brock. And that's what I truly believe. I don't know, like, I know, like, the sheets are saying that it could be Gunther, and that's a very much a possibility too. but I sincerely believe that with the fact that the division has decided we're going to do whatever we can to make sure that you win this match, Braun, someone is going to eliminate him. And I think whoever eliminates him or whoever Braun eliminates is going to have huge WrestleMania implications. So if Braun eliminates Brock Lesnar, we know that's our match. If Oba eliminates Brock Lesnar, we know that's our match. If Seth Rollins comes back and eliminates everybody from division and then eventually wins the thing, then we know that, all right, cool, like he's there. Because even like Becky Lynch has said when he came back, like when he comes back, like he's not going after you guys. Like he's gonna take you guys like one by one, but he's not. That's not his goal. Like he's gonna come back and he's gonna do his thing. So I honestly believe that the surprise factor right now is that Seth Rollins is cleared. He's in Saudi Arabia, and that he's going to win the Royal Rumble. And if he does, that is also going to throw a monkey wrench into a lot of things. Because if Seth wins, I think we're going to get Seth versus Punk at Mania. And I think that if Drew retains and ends up going into WrestleMania as champion, I very much believe that Seth versus Punk will main event night 2 of WrestleMania. And I think that will satisfy the what if scenario for a lot of people about, well, CM Punk main evented WrestleMania, but it was night 1. Yeah. I think that this is what you do to make sure that he closes the entire weekend. And they've been putting a lot of stock into CM Punk lately, so I think that there's a potential that they want to try to make it so that Punk is main eventing and closing the show altogether. And I think he can only do that with Seth or Roman.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's still like anything that's CM Punk related. I still feel it needs to be a triple threat, or at least the main event. There's no 1v1 fight that I can realistically see right now besides Cody Rhodes versus Roman that will end night 2. Because it's the same with last year, John Cena and Cody Rhodes. I'm like, all right, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe like a Roman versus Seth or something, but like they haven't built that up yet. So
I think that the history between Roman versus Seth built itself, to be honest. I think that Punk versus Seth, they've done a lot. But I think if you're going to compare this versus the potential main event for the WWE Championship of it being maybe Drew versus Cody, maybe Drew versus Jacob, maybe Drew versus Jacob versus Cody, I think that if you were to look at it from a which match is going to generate more attention, I think Punk's match is going to more than a WWE Championship match.
Yeah.
That's just my thought process. Obviously, we will see what happens once we get there, but that's kind of like where I'm at. I think that Brock Lesnar being involved, though, definitely throws a monkey wrench in a lot of things that could happen. But I absolutely believe that, and this also depends on the fact that if, like, did Gunther get declared or no?
For the Royal Rumble? No.
Yes.
Oh, he did?
So
he's going to fight twice in one night?
So that was my other point that I was wondering about. Because they have done it before where like they'll be double booked, but I wasn't sure if like, okay, he already has a match, are they going to put him in the Rumble? But if Gunther is in there, then maybe Brock Lesnar and Gunther do end up doing the damn thing.
Yeah, most likely.
But then that also opens up the idea that people had where Sammy loses against Drew, goes into the Royal Rumble and wins everything, which I think would be the worst choice that you can make.
That's also a possibility.
Although I love the underdog story, but I think that would piss a lot of people off.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would be the way to go. But if Gunther is working twice in one night, then that opens up the idea that it could be a thing that could happen.
Yeah. All right. So that is the Rumble. On to the next predictions. It's been recorded for 13 minutes. It's crazy. All right, Sammy versus Drew. As much as I wish Sammy were to win, especially in front of his home crowd and, hot potato in the title, I think Drew retains, but I think via interference, like a DQ from Cody and Jake Fatu. Derek?
I think Drew retains. I think it'd be weird to like
push the title now.
Yeah, I think it'd just be weird. I think if you put Drew in his position, I don't know if it'd be the right call for him to lose the title on his first defense. But again, like, anytime they do like the whole stat of like, oh well, you've never beaten me before, it's just like, well, now you're just begging me
To beat you.
to go in that direction, right? So
Okay, straightforward. And then the last match, AJ Styles versus Gunther. It's sad to say, but I think
um
AJ Styles retires.
yeah, AJ Styles is retiring.
Yeah, Gunther's gonna win. So
Yeah,
sad.
yeah. Oh well. He had a good
He had a good one.
he had a good run.
Joe
He
would
had a
be
good run.
excited. But yeah, that is it.
He
That
would
is the
be.
Royal Rumble. Should be exciting. I don't know what we're gonna do. It's the middle of the day, but we shall see. Let's go back to it. All right, Derek. This is it. We have already reached an hour and 10 minutes of the podcast, which is already probably one of the longest that we had in a long time. We haven't even started the
Mm-hmm.
sheets or the salt. I guess the sheets
Mm-hmm.
would be pretty quick. You want to go with that first?
Yeah, sure.
Let's get lost in the sheets.
Yes, Matt's not here. So now is going to be Derek's dirt sheets. All right, let us know what's going on in the sheets, bro. What's going on?
Welcome to Derek's Dirt Sheets, where we are very respectful to our sheets. We don't nut up. We don't shut up. We use our sheets for what they're intended for, to tuck ourselves in and have a good 8 hours of sleep.
Oh man.
And welcome to my segment. Um, let's start off. Let's see. Rumor killer on another person who I completely forgot to mention in this Royal Rumble, but rumors have been running rampant that Chris Jericho is WWE bound.
Yeah, big
There
rumors.
is a recent rumor killer in regards to WWE trademarking Judas. Apparently, they have not trademarked Judas, and
Boo.
so that you cannot use that as a means to hype yourself up on whether or not Chris Jericho will return. I personally believe that he will return at the Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
but we cannot use Judas as a means to decide whether or not that's actually going to be a thing.
If you guys
So
don't
manage your
know
expectations.
what Judas means, it's a song. He has a band. Usually now he
One of his
plays.
bangers.
Yeah, now usually he comes out
Uh,
to that song instead of Break the Walls Down, but now he's coming back to WWE. Give me 50-50.
could be. If I hear Judas in WWE, I'm going to lose my shit. Um, Major WWE names spotted in Saudi Arabia ahead of Royal Rumble. Nikki Bella is on the flight, so Nikki Bella will be in the Women's Royal Rumble. I'm not sure if she was declared on the website, but she will be a part of the Women's Royal Rumble more than likely. Um, as reported before, AJ Styles looks like he's finishing up his tenure with WWE at Royal Rumble. We obviously are hoping as fans that it is not the case. However, Shinsuke Nakamura did put out a tweet that was later deleted, in which he was told by AJ that like he was planning on finishing up his stuff by the end of January. And when the initial retirement stuff first came out, it was reported by a number of sheets that like he was slated to go until January, and hopefully hoping that they can get him in for WrestleMania. But as of now, it seems as though AJ is ready to finish up his tenure with WWE. Whether that means he does a small stint with TNA before he's done for good, we don't know. But we will see.
He did say he's retiring from WWE, not wrestling in general. So
Yes, so that opens up an opportunity for a number of different things to happen. What else do we have here? Um, let's see. Nothing crazy. Logan Paul trolls people. Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman was recently admitted to the hospital because he had an infection in his knee.
yeah, I heard about
It
that.
seems that
Unfortunately,
he is in better spirits though. So, thankfully, it wasn't anything that was too serious. Hopefully. Um, think in terms of sheets, that's all we really have going. As revealed this past week, we have gotten some new covers for the upcoming WWE 2K26 video game, in which there seems to be 4 different tiers slash versions. We have the Monday Night War edition, which I believe
oh
is
no,
the highest tier, the Attitude Era edition, the King of Kings edition, and then the Standard edition. And what is very funny is that Triple H is featured on 3 of the 4 covers.
I know. And apparently it's going to be announced on the Royal Rumble when it's officially going to come out. I think pre-orders are the end of this month. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. They've been teasing every day. Like it's a picture, but then it's like covered by like glass that Stone Cold kind of like breaks and like pieces fall off and more things show up. I think 3 stages of hell are going to be included in this match. So in this game, new match types, new characters. They even tease Senior Iguana, of course. So there might be other companies in this game, which would be really cool. I look forward to it. Danny says, I heard it plays amazing on Switch. I hope that there's a Switch version. I still don't know what we're going to do, if it's PlayStation or PC that I go, but we shall discuss that a little bit later. What else do you have in the sheets? Because I think the only other thing is Santos Escobar might be joining because he's joined AAA.
AAA, yeah. Brock Lesnar has already confirmed that he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. The pro wrestling world, this is a little bit of a mix between sports, but the pro wrestling world is angry over Bill Belichick's Football Hall of Fame snub, and I'm angry too. He is very much a first ballot Hall of Famer, but apparently the brass did not believe that. Apparently winning 7 rings with the franchise and taking them to the Super Bowl and having a Hall of Fame coaching career, being one of the most recognizable coaches of all time.
Yeah.
Isn't good enough for you to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I guess I don't really know anything.
No, people were upset about that. Danny says WWE 2K25 plays amazing on Switch, 60 frames per second, no frame drops. I would assume so. The Switch 2 is a stronger system now, so especially compared to the Switch. I think we bought what was the game that we bought? The AEW game for Switch 1, and it was just like atrocious. Wouldn't even work online properly for me. But then it gets AEW, so who knows? Maybe that was the reason.
Rey Mysterio has provided an update on his WWE Royal Rumble status. He's on the plane.
Oh my god. This guy.
He's on the plane.
He's on the plane. Because he didn't want to showcase more wrestling moves in front of me in Toronto, so
so it seems as though everything is well and good. But I think that is all I have for the sheets. So unless you want to go into some AEW sheets, well, honestly, there's really a lot to really go over there.
Let's go to the grain of salt then. End it up.
Let us. All right, and.
And we're at Derek's grain of salt. I did not preset this up because Matt was here last time.
Yes. All right. So my grain of salt. I kind of already briefly explained like my rationale for how the Rumble is going to go. In regards to the men's side, so like I said before, my primary pick is Seth Rollins. I sincerely believe. Sorry, let me address Danny Maduro real quick. You said Triple H is in all 3 covers. He's in 3 of 4. So they have the deluxe edition, which is the King of Kings edition, which is Triple H. The Attitude Era edition has a number of Attitude Era superstars, including Triple H. And the Monday Night War edition has 5 Attitude Era superstars against 5 WCW superstars, and Triple H is one of them. So Triple H is heavily featured in 3 of the 4 covers. And honestly, I don't understand why. Like, I'm not opposed. This will go into my greatest salt as well. I'm not really opposed to having, people, as cover stuff, because whatever, it's just a cover. Vince McMahon was on the cover of SmackDown versus Raw, the first SmackDown versus Raw, and honestly, that made sense. I don't understand what the hell is the King of Kings edition.
Nobody rides himself more than Triple H, bro. Let's put. People are putting video packages all over of like promos that they've talked about Triple H before on WWE, and though he is the son-in-law of Vince, like it's crazy. Like the things that were said, the things he's done, like it's just.
Well, yeah. In the heyday of his career, this guy was a terrible, terrible person. I think the funniest thing about it to me is the fact that, like, even when Vince was in charge, Vince was very much adamant about not being front and center of anything, right? He wasn't front and center of any promotional material. He was barely on the cover of anything. He very much said, like, I don't want to be inducted to the Hall of Fame because it's not about me. And honestly, like Triple H being inducted to the Hall of Fame, although like you can have comments about like, oh, like whatever, he does deserve being a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I think that realistically, just his position in being like the creative content officer kind of got muffled into his induction, but he should have been inducted as a single ballot Hall of Famer years ago. So like that I'll allow. But I think since the Netflix move, like I don't know if it's the network decided like, oh, you're like the face of the WWE, so we need to have you featured and everything. I just feel like it's just been too much overexposure on his part. And if it's to sell the ticket to do whatever, cool, that's fine. But the cover, like you're telling me that 2K was just kind of like, yo, Triple H, we need to have you on the cover. We need to have you on 3 covers. We need this.
Also, the Photoshop of Triple H was crazy as well. People were
Very
overanalyzing that too.
It's so funny too because as soon as I saw the picture too, and I was just like, that chest is Photoshop because I know Triple H's chest did not look like that in 2005. He was very flabby.
Yeah,
he was very flabby. And mind you, he got his chest right eventually. So it's not to say that like he didn't get himself right, but like
just a picture they used was completely
photoshopped.
Danny says, "I'm guessing the highest tier has all the wrestlers." I assume so.
Yeah, so typically, like being a person who gets the highest tier every year, because I hate myself. The highest tier gives you access to the season pass. It gives you access to a bunch of like perks to kind of help with like whatever single player game modes that they have going on. So last year they had the island, which was a very, very good game mode, and I hope they do bring something like that back for this year's 2K. Because the island was awesome. I really, really enjoyed it. So they'll give you like attribute boosts and like skill point boosts that give you like a little bit of a startup. Some attires, yeah, just like a bunch of stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be very expensive. So thankfully, I have a $50 gift card on my PlayStation account, which will go towards my pre-order. So
also PlayStation's where we're going, bro. We will be there on the side of Sparking Zero, of course. Anything else in your grain of salt before we end the night off?
Yeah, well, okay. So I was talking about Seth Rollins and how I very much believe that it makes sense for him to come back, and whether or not he's cleared for, we'll see. I just think that that's just the way to go. I think that I don't know like where the direction is in regards to the WWE Championship because there's been so many rumors and theories going around on like what the main event is going to look like. And I had already said that to me, like Roman versus Cody is the main event. So if you're moving outside of that and that's the way that it's going to go, it'll be very interesting to see where you place the main event guys on the card. If Cody's not going to be in the main event, which I do believe that he will be, but if he's not going to be in the main event, who could he have a match with that would make sense of that we're going into WrestleMania? If Roman Reigns is not facing Cody, who can he face? And if he's not facing Punk, who can he face that makes sense? And my first bet would be Braun Breaker, because I think that's the match that we were teased last year that I think you can definitely do some stuff with. And then maybe Oba Femi if you really want to put Oba into a huge spotlight very, very early. But yeah, I honestly like all my eggs are going into the fact that Seth Rollins returns this Saturday and that he wins it.
That he wins the Royal Rumble?
Mm-hmm.
Could be a possibility. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and have a triple threat with Braun Breaker. It makes sense. The future talent, the young talent, revenge. The old guys put the young guy over. Possibility.
Danny says, I want the version that has Logan Paul. I believe that version is the trash version, which you can find in the garbage. But to answer your question, yeah, I always do get the highest tier. Just because like I know that like I could do standard edition, but if I get standard edition, I'm gonna get the season pass because I know that I want to get. I understand. I know that I want to get like all the DLCs.
Lyric.
Yeah, I know myself. Like I know that I'm going to be DLC heavy. Like I think with games that I am very much anticipating, I'm going to do highest tier. When I got Sparkling Zero, I got the highest tier because I knew like I want all the characters. Like there's not going to be a point where I'm not going to be like looking at Future Gohan with one arm and be like, yo, I don't want him. Like I'm going to get him. So it's like, do I spend more money to get less stuff later, or do I just like bite the bullet, work a little bit extra, and make sure I can get it so that I have it for release, and also I can play it 3 days earlier, even though as an older person, those 3 days mean nothing to me because I'm busy working. So like I don't actually get the 3 day bonus.
Yeah.
Plus, it's less fun when I'm not playing with my friends, and like Eric and Compare don't get them anymore. So it's just like, oh, I
we
got
will
the
be
early
there.
release, but no one's playing with me. So
will
it's
be
like,
there.
okay, like
Because the last couple of years I get the game, I filmed the story for the week, and
Yeah.
then after I finish streaming, I'm like, all right, I should get back to this, but I get busy, and then we finish it. But this year, I didn't get FIFA. You know, I haven't played like other games like COD or whatever as
Yeah.
much, so I've been itching for some, games to play with friends. So that should be the game that we're getting.
Yes, so I will be there. Danny says he wants to that gives me all the wrestlers. That's all. So that's going to be the King of Kings edition, but more likely.
Most likely.
Do we play against each other? It's
Of
been a
course.
while, but we do.
We did last year too.
But
we
it
did the
has,
backyard or back street road thing.
yeah. I think my
Backstage,
favorite
sorry.
one, I think is on our TikTok, was the one that we had with George. And we did the fatal four way when like my rock character was like glitching out over top the steel steps.
Yeah.
That's one thing we need. We need George involved. But like,
Elimination Chamber.
can we parsec? We can't parsec if we get it on PlayStation. We have to get it on PC, right?
To get on PC, yeah. Unless he gets the PC version as well, like, and everyone has it.
Yeah, like I know that I can't run it on my laptop. Won't be able to handle it for sure. So like, if someone does get like, that's a Johnny Lob.
Why
to
can't
be
they
honest,
just game share? Or not game share, sorry.
you
Why
know,
are they like compatible? Like, can you play with PC people? PC people with PlayStation?
I don't think they can. I don't think they can.
We'll do more
Last time I
research,
played
guys.
a wrestling game was SmackDown with The Rock on the cover. That's like 5 SmackDown games. We're gonna have to be specific. Did 2K ruin wrestling? Oh, damn! Danny's gonna keep me out here all night. This is a great question. Did 2K ruin wrestling games?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think they made it better as in terms of graphics and like bringing it to like the forefront of gaming, because I feel like when they were with THQ, it was great games, but they were starting to fall off a little bit, and the people stopped caring more. Maybe that was just part of the product at the time, but then like now, people see 2K, they instantly think of NBA, so they're like, oh, this is gonna be a great game. So it got to the forefront. They started with The Rock, and they have these big names, and they did add a lot of features or add new matches. So yeah, I think they're keeping it up right now, but
yeah, they're doing the best that they can. I think that last year's was honestly the better 2K game, just because they started to incorporate more 2K-esque stuff. Like the island was like the closest thing to like my park that WWE had. Again, what I want from what they started with that is like essentially like, here's your creative wrestler. You go to like this area. Here's like a performance center that you can train and build your skills. This area is the arena that you're going to have like your storyline match. You could go to the gym to like build up your attributes. You could go over here to do like online matches with people and stuff. Like make it less fantasy, because the island was very fantasy, and honestly the stories were fun. But like 2K, what like my park is like one of the biggest features of 2K, and it's just like very much like, here's your season, but in between your season you could get yourself perks to like build your character for the next game. You could like go to like park and do like street basketball. You could do like all these like random side quests and stuff like that, and build like your brand and build the image so that you become like a bigger super like star. I like what 2K has done with it. I agree that the micro transactions in 2K definitely takes away from that, but like unfortunately, gaming is microtransactions now. I am hoping that, because 2026 has become the year of let's bring back the stuff that you like, because we're doing too much. McDonald's decided, hey, we're going to give you this value meal of stuff that we shouldn't have been charging up the ass, but now we're going to bring it back down.
The same with Burger King, like they dropped the prices for like original chicken sandwich and stuff.
AEW is doing the same thing. Game of the year. What was game of the year?
Bonanza?
No, it was not Bonanza.
It was Family.
It was Expedition 30. It was the game of the year was Expedition 33, which was not a
microtransaction
like studio release, right? It wasn't a studio release. It was a AAA title. It was independent. It was an indie title. It was an independent title that a bunch of developers that are associated with a studio put together, and I think like what that showed is that like you need to stop like chasing corporate greed to like make all this money and stuff like that, and just start to make good games again. I think that we're shifting towards a point where game developers are realizing that the trendy bullshit like stuff, cash grab stuff, isn't working. They need to just go back to like focusing on the product. And so I'm hoping that this year's title is better in that respect. But 2K did do a better job of kind of doing their stuff. I'm trying to think of like the last wrestling video game that they put out that I was like very much super into. And it might have been SmackDown versus Raw 2011, maybe. It was either that or WWE 12. WWE 12 was very, very fun.
It was very fun as well. WWE 13 had Attitude Era. That was really cool too.
And I find it very ironic that WWE 13 had the Attitude Era stuff, and the cover star of WWE 13 was CM Punk, and WWE 2K26, and which we did not talk about in the sheets, but the heavy rumor is that the standard edition is going to be CM Punk on the cover. So the fact that they got the same cover star doing the same shit that they did 13 years ago, it's kind of funny. But there have been some rumors in regards to what they're going to be doing. Like the showcase mode, apparently it's going to focus on CM Punk's career, and there might be a mode where they are going to look into like what if CM Punk never left, what matches we would have gotten, which I think is actually kind of cool. But yeah, I'm very much interested to seeing if they're going to replicate another island mode like they did in 2K25, because that mode was very, very good. I enjoyed it a lot, so I hope that they continue with that.
Yeah,
but yeah, great question, Danny.
A lot of great questions today. And that is it for me. Everyone in my house has gone to bed, so appreciate everyone stopping by. We've had a lot of conversations today, and we're gonna try to keep it going next week. We'll see the result of the Royal Rumble, which will start the road to WrestleMania. And again, there's gonna be more details with the WWE video game. We'll see when it's gonna be released. The pricing is the important part because they might increase the prices now for games. I don't know how the difference is going to be United States and Canadian, but they're going to start doing that as well. So yeah, we'll see the results next week, and we'll be back to chatting. Till then, guys, it's been your boy, Eric of EMFC.
And this is Derek of DMFC.
Danny's excited for his first wrestling game in years. I'm excited to actually play a wrestling game longer than a week for the last couple of years.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like 2K25, I like tapped in all year and I didn't get bored of it. So like they did something good with last year's. But I'm also excited for it. But this is also Derek at DMFC, and let's take it home.
Yep, we'll see you guys next week. Peace.